Is Dr. Rao Kalsu coming live on LinkedIn. Today I'm going to talk about something I started yesterday, which is uh, uh, what is in a cup? What is in your cup? You know, so we can always talk about the concentration, unselfish activity, and also the purpose of life, right? Uh, that is what I was talking about yesterday with all my friends on the Wisdom app, and I hope we can continue that because concentration in this day and age is very important for us because there is an onslaught of influences on our concentration, our attention, right? The social media and explosion of information, so many notifications, so many distractions, right? It's very important that we focus on uh, the concentration and understand all the work that was done by so many people. And I'm going to quote a couple of books and how the work there really can help us to understand why it is so important, how to nurture, and how to um, uh, really enhance the power that we have. So to recap, let's see what we did yesterday morning. We said, what is in your cup? You have three powers in you. One is concentration, one is unselfish activity, and the third one is purpose of life, right? If you have these powers in you and we need to cultivate them, we need to get to them more often, right? That's what I was talking about. And today I'm going to only talk about the concentration, how it is so important for us. Okay, I have a guest on this. Okay, Ryan is here. So we'll talk to our friend Ryan Allen. He's a good friend of mine, and he's coming up. So
Hello.
hi, Ryan. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling a lot better in the UK. We've been going through a horrible heat wave,
Yeah.
and finally today is cooler, and
Yeah.
we are very grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it
Very
is
good. Yeah.
there is a very poor air conditioning, I was told, and they're not equipped as a whole United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Its concentration was really hit
Yeah.
for the past 2 days. A lot of people I know, not just myself, just find it really difficult to
Yeah.
get through the day when you're trying to push and your body's going, I'm exhausted, I just want to cool down.
Yeah.
It was just hard.
Yeah.
So this topic, concentration,
Yes.
is a powerful one, and
Mm.
actually it's something that's kind of spurred me on to include it in my book that I'm writing at the moment. And it isn't easy for a lot of people to stay focused, because when I think about concentration, I think about the word focus.
Yes.
And because you really can't deliver great work, whatever that is, without solid focus. And I've learned a lot from mentors and you about staying consistent with one thing.
Yeah.
And then just stay on that, and don't kind of get distracted by anything else.
That's
it works. It works. I guarantee it works. And a lot of people think, well, how do we create? How's that guy or that lady or whoever? How do they do that? They don't realise is that you can be focused for say 2-3 hours on one thing.
Yeah.
When you're done, you move on to something else for 3 hours or whatever, however people work.
Yes.
And then you get things done. I got up this morning. I had a plan of ideas of what I want to do today, and I use one of the planning mastery books. It was more like a journal, it's like a diary called the High Performance Planner. by Brendan Burchard, and it's one of my go-to planners that I use when I really want to get some things done, and I want to get it done with focus. So I don't just rely upon the will or the wish or the hope, because wishing and hoping doesn't do anything. You can wish and hope all day long, but that doesn't change anything. If you want to get something done, so I told myself, my mentor, my book mentor, said to me, Ryan, we can get this book done in 12, 16 weeks. It might shock people how fast you can do it, but anybody can do this if you're focused.
Yeah.
If you're focused.
That's the key.
I said, and I said to myself, inside myself, I kind of thought, really? Is that possible? And I said, no, shush. Don't tell me that. Yeah. That's not me. That's the subconscious trying to protect the body. Forget that. I am going to get done. And so I think there's a few little things I've learned. One, for me, I need to have a bit of a plan, a short plan, even just a plan for the day. Just something simple. 3 very important things I need, or no, not need. 3 things I would like to get done on that day, completed. And then within those 3 things, what are the most important things I need to get done? Yes. And then I just have maybe 3 or 4 things that allows me to know that I've got a plan and I'm producing results. And that's how I kind of do it. I also think good sleep helps you concentrate. Yeah. I think getting good sleep and know how to get good sleep. Now, I unfortunately, I'm very lucky.
About the things to do, Ryan, let me say, what is that I need to do? What is that I would like to do? And what is that other people want me to do?
Well, the latter part, I just have an issue with that because I changed my social circle. So
That's why I'm saying, if you can identify in those 3 groups, and what you have to do, you will have to do. What I like to do, you will be able to do that. But if you can put aside other, especially in this age, you are doing in a proactive relationship building, that is fine, the social interaction, but if you are doing everything mechanically, that's the problem,
I agree. I used in the past to have people have social circles, and at the time when you're just kind of growing through life, you don't realize, or you don't have categories for people. I never had categories for anyone around me when I was in my 20s. I just saw everyone as like someone I know, someone who's a friend of mine. That was a very grey word, and I used to think that was the solid, bold word in my life, and I actually had to reevaluate that. So when I would look around myself, I'd hear people telling me what they think I should be doing.
Yes.
And I think to myself, hang on a minute, but this is my life. Why do you think you know everything about me and knows all my strengths, my weaknesses? I thought, that's a little bit confusing. And then what happened to me, as I'm sure many people, you get clouded by other opinions that kind of gets in the way of what you really want to do.
Coming to this topic, the cup I was talking about, did you catch that yesterday, that lecture?
No, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, the C stands for the concentration in the cup. U stands for the unselfish activity, and P stands for purpose of life.
Hang on a minute. Let me get my paper and pen. So, hang on.
So what was happening was, C was for concentration. That's what we are focusing on today. And U for the unselfish activity, we will do at a later date. And the P is the purpose of life. Okay. When it comes to these 3, these are innate powers we have within ourselves. Anybody can identify what is that purpose of life, reinvent that and relearn that or revise that. But whatever it is, they have a purpose of life. Like a student, education, employers doing whatever they want to do, relationship, we have something with the society, with the world, with whatever, right? For example, somebody may come and say, I want to just serve the world, nothing else, and that
Okay.
is his purpose, right? Or somebody
Okay.
will say, I want to invent something. This is what I want to do, so that
Yeah.
technology will be improved, something like that. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
if it is selfish activity versus unselfish activity, people really discover when they do something out of their heart because they want to serve somebody and all that, they feel so good, and they get
Yeah.
really so much out of it. It's not that
Mm.
you cannot do what you have to do for your living and the family support and all that, but
Right.
can you incorporate some unselfish activity through the day? I was talking about random act of kindness, like
Yeah.
my nurses. When somebody
Yeah.
comes in, they don't want to stay in their room and all that. They want to go and meet the patient and greet them. That's how I taught them. Okay? Meet the
Right.
patient, make eye contact, address them
Yeah.
by their name, and make them
Mm.
comfortable that they are
Mm.
welcomed into the
Mm.
clinic and they can
Mm.
stay there. So it's a simple
Mm.
thing like that, getting out of the
Mm.
chair, coming to the aid of the patient, helping them
Mm.
to the chair, or just greeting them. That really
Mm.
made a day for the patient.
Unselfish. Yeah.
Yeah, but the patient, but also this nurse feels good that she gave something out of her heart, right?
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
she had to do it, but she is doing it because she loves it. Then slowly they learn to love the job because there is so much feedback from that unselfish activity which they are not knowing.
Right.
you know One,
Right.
for example, there was this big hospital. I was in 80s, and at the
Okay.
time we have these paper charts. We didn't have EMRs, right? So
Okay.
this clerk who sits on the unit, and she was always bringing the paper charts, arranging them, and then putting them back in the filing the lab report, things like that, right? And she felt,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, this is so mundane, so kind of routine. I don't have any really input of it. Then I told her, look, if you don't put all those things available, we won't have them available. This was before the
Right.
EMRs. So we had to go to the
Right.
chart. We had to find the information, right? So I said, if
Yeah.
without you doing this, the patient care will not be propelled. So there's so much meaning
Right.
what you are doing for the entire unit.
Yeah.
When she saw
I'll come
that,
back on if that's
yeah,
okay.
when she saw that, she was very motivated, that kind of thing. uh, so it's a kind of Ryan is coming back. It's a kind of inventing opportunities of unselfish activity within our
Yeah.
routines is quite possible. It's only you have to
It
have.
is.
Yeah.
It is. But I think I also recognize sometimes we as human beings,
Yeah.
without the knowledge, without the training, without the mentoring, without anything like this,
Yes.
and just go through life.
Yeah.
It's what it's a sense of curiosity that leads to the knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was all curious as to why certain people, when I was much younger, in my 20s, I'd look at some people doing the job of whatever, and I thought it's boring, whatever that was. I thought, I'm not really feeling this.
What I discovered, the people who are illiterate, who are really not very knowledgeable anything, they have
Yeah.
this fantastic smile, broad
Yeah.
smile, very accepting smile, and that means
Yeah.
they're coming through their heart.
Yeah.
That kind of thing was very fascinating to me when I understood the
Was it?
meditation in a deeper way. The definition
Yeah.
of meditation is this: emptying the mind, with the things of the
Yeah.
mind that it accumulates, so that
Yeah.
you will come through the heart.
Oh, what a powerful one. Yes.
So
Yes.
you feel good, but at the same time you can think, but don't I don't want to assess Ryan. He's just a human being. He's my friend. That's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then how I don't have any transactional thing. I don't have to expect anything. Just
Yeah.
be kind, be
So
nice. That's it. You know what?
powerful thing you're saying, Dr. Rao, because
Yeah.
you do know there are lots of people out there
Yeah.
with all good intention, but you can always sense
Yes.
when
Yes.
there is an agenda.
Yeah. But then
And it
that
makes you
that is
feel,
the assessor, that what we are feeling and all that. That
yeah,
assessor, if it is not analytical, And then you say, okay, even if he thinks that way, we are going to be coming from our heart.
Right.
That kind of opening up is very healing for us and for the other person.
Absolutely.
So that's what I was talking about, unselfish activity. It's not like you leave everything and then go everything. No, you have obligations, you have your growth, you have your
Yeah.
mindset. So many things are there. So you don't have to be completely devoid of anything. But every day, can you spice up your life with something like a unselfish activity with from your heart. And that be, yeah, that's a power. Yeah.
I like this. I
Yeah,
like this.
that's the
Yeah.
power we have, and then we have to exert that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then the
I
final one,
agree.
I was
Yeah.
talking about
I
this
think.
cup and concentration
Well,
because for a reason, because what we are doing on the social media, because we get so many notifications, so many distractions,
yeah.
that's exactly what I want people to guard against,
So.
because it seems they calculated every time you
Yeah.
are trying to concentrate, right? And
Yeah.
then you get a distraction. It takes 20 minutes to come back after the distraction to the original state of
Yeah.
concentration. So
Very true.
this
Very true.
multitasking is something I really say don't do that, because
I know.
you're going to
I
destroy
know.
your attention. Yeah. But
But I thought about this. I really did. When you came on my show, you were saying to me
yeah,
that I think I mentioned in a conversation at one of my earliest episodes, I'd said that, multitasking and that I'm a multitasker. And then when you came on, I think it was the second or third time when we'd spoken, and you talked about the fact that multitasking is not the natural human way of behavior.
yes,
It isn't, and we think that it is, and it's not. And I then had to say to myself that because I listen. Sometimes a part of me will go. I immediately kind of the ego comes and go. I disagree. I disagree.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah.
And then I said to myself, no. Let's do an experiment.
Yeah.
I always say this rather than disagreeing with someone automatically. I always say, okay, I'm going to listen. I'm going to do a test.
Yeah.
Let me do an experiment. I'm going to focus on one thing. Let's see how I feel after I've done that one thing and I've completed it, versus doing two or three things and getting nothing completed.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, logically, I'd rather have the first than the second. So I said to myself, I actually realised that I was being distracted by this idea of being able to do more than one thing.
Yeah.
Because, and I had to go back, where did it come from? And I asked myself, where did that come from? It came from listening to work colleagues, who said, I've just got that finished, and I've got that finished, and I've got that finished, and I thought, okay. Or the joke being, men can't multitask, which is another thing, which I think I kind of got caught up in, thinking I actually want to prove someone wrong that men can multitask. Yeah. And it was an ego. It was all based on ego. Exactly. So when I stopped doing that,
there is a scientific information on this, Ryan. You know what it is at any time our mind can take, it's like people thought, oh, we have so much mind power that we can use all of that, right? But actually, we have limited mind power, only one mind, and you cannot divide it among so much. You say it can absorb 110 bits of information. That's it.
Yeah.
At any one time, So if you can put like a 80, 90, and the rest of it to be aware, then you are really focusing on the task. So what my prescription is, just to pay complete attention to whatever you do.
Yeah.
And then you see within a 1 hour, you have accomplished so much more than going from this to this to this. The premise is,
exactly.
Yeah, we think we do multitasking, we will be more productive, but it's not really.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what it does? What it does is it just compiles this sense of accomplishment, which is almost falsified accomplishment, because I know I will be far more happier if I just work on one thing and get it completed.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then there's this joy that kind of unfolds when you've accomplished that one thing. So I said to myself back then, when I said to myself I was going to get my conference, that had planned last year. And then obviously with the pandemic, it was a bit of an issue, and couldn't really do anything. And I said to myself, I'm going to pause rather than over stress about it. I'm going to pause it in November last year.
Yeah.
And I'll bring it back when it's ready to when the government decides to open up the venues again. As soon as it happened in February this year, I then opened it back up, and then I said to myself, I'm going to get it on web, launched, at the very least physically online as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And I did it in record time. Actually, it took me about 7-8 weeks. When I was focused only on that,
exactly,
I was able to get it done.
That's
and
it.
Then it was, how on earth did you do that? It's because I was focused.
Yeah,
on one thing.
That's the key, because why this talk is, I'm seeing a lot of distractions for people, and the social media, they are trying to do their job, which is they say internet is all free, but it's not really free. They want a price. What is the price? Your attention. That's it. So
it's more than that. It's more than that. I would say it's attention.
Yeah.
But they also want data.
And that's there. But the main thing is, what we are the product. We are the ones who they want the attention from. So that's true. Data and all that is a different matter. I'm a data person anyway, big data person, right? So data itself may not be a problem. We can use it, provided it's a good data. And also privacy issues that are there. But the main thing is, any system of meditation, any system of spiritual activity, take it, they try to enhance your attention. You do a mantra, you do a breathing exercise, you are doing self-inquiry, whatever it is, you got to be attentive to what you are doing, and then you will increase your attention. See, my meditation really gives me enormous span of attention. Otherwise, you are not training the mind that way, and because people are really driven by notifications, driven by they just scroll through. They scroll through the web. What they are doing mechanically going through them, and then all the material is absorbed, and then they say brain fog. But suppose you are purposeful. You are purposeful and you are attentive, like you were saying, you are able to accomplish a lot by being attentive and focused on one thing. That's what I'm thinking. I want to expose all the mechanism of concentration and attention. I want to expose what are the attacks we are having in the modern life.
If that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I think so. It's a kind of we have to really pay attention to the forces that are developed. I don't think internet people deliberately are doing this. They are trying to sell their product. But the thing is how we arrange it. For example, I don't answer phone unless I want to make a phone call. You know how I do it? I just let them leave a message if they want me to talk to them, and then I will select the message and to see if it is important or not. If it's important, I may call back. Otherwise, I won't call back. But usually that works very well, because I know only the people that I want to reach, and that kind of puts all the phone calls in order. All the emails also like that. I don't want to answer every email that comes in.
No, exactly.
Even on this wisdom, they will introduce this chat feature. I think I don't pay attention to that. I may look at it later. But at this, when I'm talking to Ryan, I want to focus on what we are having a dialogue about, or what we're talking about, rather than answer all those messages.
Do you know what, Dr. Rad? That's something that I'm going to include in my book, and I will actually reference you, Dr. Rao, on the cup. Did you develop that? Or is Okay, so I'll obviously, what I want to do is obviously include you in the research, because I'll include you in the book. Yeah,
it's so funny. It came through me because actually it was supposed to be 3 powers in different ways, but then I saw what is they're talking about. Then that just came to me. See, you pour a cup, and the cup is like us, right? We have cup is ours, and we have these 3 powers. Right, I told Judy. Julie yesterday. Julie, whenever you are having tea, remember this cup.
Oh, Julie, yeah. Yeah, I told you I don't have tea. She says, oh, I'll have coffee then.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I'll have coffee.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
says, what, do you want
Something
milk and
like
sugar? I
yeah.
said, no, I don't want some milk and sugar.
Yeah. You see, we need the visual cues to remember these truths. And then once you begin
Thank
to
you.
practice,
Thank you.
yeah,
Like,
they will be better off, right? Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead, Ryan.
yeah.
You're saying something.
Yeah, I wanted to say that the visual cues, it's exactly what I focused on in focusing on my book, because a lot of us need that. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what your thoughts are about the next one I wanted to mention, but certainly it's so much easier to, like I'm talking about the tape recorder.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people will hear the word. You know, it goes. You know, I'm keeping the negative thing in my head. It goes spins and spins and spins. And I thought to myself, well, some people can't visualize that. They can visualize the problem, but they can't visualize it. I always knew from learning through therapists that if you can visualize and can encapsulate the idea into a physical thing you can think about, then you're able to kind of hold it and take control of it.
No, it's more like this, Ryan. It's like a computer. We kind of put the memory and take the memory out, right? Like that, we have some random or some permanent memory like that, right? But in our mind, what it happens is when you take some information in the night and when you get up in the morning, all your subconscious thoughts and all your unconscious, they all come up after you wake up, right? And so you may have forgotten all that resolutions, everything that you made earlier, right? To come back, you got to return to back to them, at least in the beginning, before it. See, if you are conditioned certain way, you are trained in a certain way, you got to untrain it. And these visual cues will be useful for you.
Well, this is what I'm doing in my book, because I've said, you know, when I'm explaining what it's like to wake up in the morning or go through and you're thinking things that you don't know why on earth you're thinking negatively.
Yeah.
You've got no reason in the external world or in the physical world where you should be complaining, but your brain is doing that.
Yes.
And some people get quite caught up in the idea that it's quite great to talk about the subconscious and the subconscious mind and all that. And I just put it as a tape and a tape recorder. I just saw it as a tape and a tape recorder. The tape plays, it's recording everything, whether you like it or not, it's recording all through your life. Yeah. And then eventually, at some point in your life, it goes back, it stops, it goes back to something in the past, and then you play that for over and over and over again.
That's it.
And I think myself, the way that I learned to get a grip of this was by pausing, not stopping, pausing and looking at it. Why am I doing that to myself? Why am I going there? And I asked myself questions, and it was a whole pause, stop, eject. That was what I was thinking about.
There is the structure of the mind from the neuroscience point of view and also from the yoga point of view. It does tell you each point of attention at distraction, you have a separate neural path activated. For example, you are there, you are listening to me, you are paying attention to me.
Yeah.
Then a neural path, when you are paying attention. Then you have, a thought comes to you from something like a phone or something comes up. And then that distraction has a neuronal path. And then your effort of coming back to this focus from the distraction, that is a neuronal path. And then maintaining that attention for prolonged time has a separate neuronal path. So where do you want to be? If you allow those distractions all the time coming to you several times, those neural paths will be more. That is the distractions we don't want to have. That is the problem when you are surfing mechanically and then allowing the mind to absorb a lot of things, and you are not getting anything done. You are not being happy because so many things come up, and then they will weigh on your mind. So.
And it strengthens that neural pathway, doesn't it? If you're doing it, thinking about it over and over, you just create a strong neural pathway.
Yes, you can create it by being proactive, positive, and also purposeful.
Yeah.
3 P's.
This is my thing about knowing the drive of purpose, because knowing purpose and having someone say to me, what do you want? they can tell that I love what I do because they can feel it, they can sense it, they can feel the energy that comes through the conversation and so on. Yes, I'm articulate, so that's not necessarily, I can make anything sound exciting.
No, articulate is very, very important because people will get lost if you are not articulate, right?
Yeah.
If you are not clear and concise about what you are seeing, they don't have the attention to retain what you're saying. You can have an explanation, provided suppose you have a question. You say, Dr. Rao, why are you talking about this concentration? Then I will say, this is my purpose, right? I'm doing it. That question that you put in, you pay more attention to that because you want to know. It's on the other hand, if you listen to passively, like I'm going to listen because my friend is good and all that, you may not absorb that information. But if you have a question, that means you are actively engaging in the dialogue.
Absolutely, and I think it's this again. It comes back to why you do what you do.
Yeah.
So when you're concentrating on something, I'm doing it not just because I want to get the whatever it is done.
Yeah.
I'm actually invested in it because I know it's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I don't get bored. I am focused on what I love. I am concentrating. I am totally invested in it. And I don't have people around me trying to encourage me to do it. I get it done.
How you can get to the unselfish component is what my intention. I will tell you what it is. Because I see a lot of suffering, attention deficit, or people not able to finish their jobs, or people are feeling worthless. So much of suffering goes on because of this, right? My motivation is always, it's not about how much I gain or whatever followers. I never care about that. But my thing is, how is that I can resolve the suffering that I see? So that's the only motivation. Then it becomes very unselfish, and also your contribution can be meaningful to somebody, right? Like somebody came up yesterday and we were talking about COVID resurgence, how many new cases, mutation. I feel like I have to share that as a physician is my responsibility. So I was sharing that, and then she came and told about long haul. Then I remember this room I go to all the time in a clubhouse. Lately I'm not going that much, but I have to start going back. They invite me all the time, on a Friday. I suggested to her, and she grabbed that because she need that kind of help, And those in that room, actual people who are suffering from long COVID come, and then they say whatever they have learned. Because when they personal suffering, you kind of seek out what are the answers for this and all that, That's where the unselfish thing come, because it's not about just your life, your glory. It's about your uh, awareness of what's going on around you, what's going on in your society, in your world. And then because you don't have a desire about your personal enhancement or glorification or whatever it is, then it will be unselfish. But at the same time, it may produce the wealth and all those things that are okay, but then you will use them better. The main thing is you are devoid of the personal desire as much as some people get boiled. Really, they want the good hearts and intentions, but they are more worried about their future or worried about their situations and all that, which is okay. That's why I said just do random act of unselfishness, something that you are doing within the job, find that meaning within the job, extend a little bit, within the whatever you are doing, just to do something that can be which is nourishing to the soul and nourishing to the people around you too, and meditation can do all these things, because it's not about just calming the mind. It's about really understanding the powers of mind and making them come through in the right situation, right way, and all that. Otherwise, it's like I want my mind to be silent so that I will have a good time and all that. That's not about it.
It's not about that at all.
Yeah, it's not about that.
Isn't.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the 70s and 80s, when internet was not the way it is now, it was a lot easier for people to just focus on one or two things. It wasn't There were no distractions. If someone tried to phone you at home, they didn't get through, they'd leave a voice message. There would be, nobody was thinking about you after that. They just move on.
Yeah, that's exactly the point, Ryan, because we have this new force of internet and all that. It used to be, they say, oh, technology is not the problem, you just be control. And no, they're actively trying to do technology not neutral anymore. It does this kind of things, and then they may not intended for that, but then they are always trying to, how do I influence these people so that they can stay on my side? How do I grab their attention? That's it, right?
It's very superficial.
Yeah.
I think.
You saw the movie Social Dilemma, Ryan? Social Dilemma?
Social Dilemma, yeah.
Yeah, in that movie, they show all these things. It's worth taking a look again.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah, I saw that a couple of years ago, maybe. I don't know if it's still running or not. But that movie really exposed the problems of social dilemma with the internet. How are you using it? Because with the COVID, this has become much more so. People are more introverted, more really miserable, more. I see a lot of suffering.
I could say why.
Yeah.
I know why, because there's people who when they do something, everything's about trying to get followers, getting likes, all that nonsense, which I know from a business point of view. I know that the benefits of why that's important for my thing. So I understand from a business point of view, not because I need it, is because I know that I will be able to reach more people, but my story and my reason for doing things needs to be very clear. There's other people who have no idea what they want to do. All they want to do is make some money, get lots of followers, and then they just want to blow up, as they say online, which I can't stand that phrase, but that's what they say. And I think if your intention is just to kind of be superficial and you've got no kind of foundation, it just is a very miserable space, because all you're going to do is get really depressed when you don't see the followers following you, you don't get the like.
No, that's not because there's something there. You see, the dopamine spot, like people think somebody called or somebody said something positive, something praising and all that. They have this dopamine spurge, right? That happens. And then it is a addiction is not as bad as the other addictions we talk about, but still is a addiction, as you say. For example, how many people can put the phone away for a couple of hours and be free of it without reaching for it? So they're conditioning like that. So be careful. That's what I'm telling you. I use that everything, but with this awareness. And other major thing is, how can you have meditations that can enhance your attention span?
Okay.
That's where I'm coming from. Well, on one hand, I'm warning people about the dangers that are looming up, especially with the AI coming in. And on the other hand is, because the spirituality is really always have some process where you enhance your attention if you do it. For example, if you do a breathing exercise, if you do a mantra meditation, or if you really focus on your thought process, that's being a witness, or you be like who am I questions and all those deep meditations. For example, all the meditations you heard about are projection of the mind, right? But there is a meditation which is called Manonasha, where your mind is quiet completely, and you don't have to really inculcate that without any notice, because you just let it run all the time. That's a really bad thing. But if you can really use it when you need it, otherwise it's resting, that is the ideal state for us, and that is possible, because once you taste that, it will be good. But the main thing is, do you have the urge to talk from within? And then you can examine that. But if you are not aware of that, you will be talking all the time.
And I think to add to that is that in order to get there, like I had a situation where, despite the fact that I'm media trained, I had fears of sharing the inside of me to other people.
Yeah.
Because I had fears.
Yes.
And it was fears of not being accepted because there was this wanting to be liked issue. Yeah. There was this kind of level of codependency, codependent on the response, the reaction. Yes. That was what I had to kind of do the work on.
That is the ego component, Ryan. That is the ego component that you want to work on. And if you are aware of that, then it's much easier to step out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is much easier.
Yes.
And I'm the sort of person who, wants to be able to just engage with people in a certain kind of way. And I said to myself, if I'm going to be really authentic, which I don't like that word.
The person.
It sounds a little bit superficial.
Let's stop there. The person, right? Listen carefully to this, Yeah. It is the meditation that you are, okay? It is the person what you do.
Yeah.
Now remember that very carefully. It's the meditation.
One more time.
It's the meditation who you are.
Yeah.
But it is the person what you do.
Yeah.
So when you say I'm that kind of person, you are taking that attributes as though you are that. But you are beyond that.
Yeah.
That's where you get rid of all the fears, all the anxieties, all the desires of the person. And then you really end up in that state where you are completely secure within yourself. You don't need anything else. Because we are not aware of that, what we do is we kind of assume the personality is us. That is the ego, thought construct ego. But then you have to have some personhood to propel the life. So have that as a slave for you, not as your master. How much degree of that is there is up to you to find out. Okay, no judgment there. But what I'm saying is, what is possible blissful existence depends on this. If you are
I think that's a powerful thing.
Yeah,
I think it's powerful, and I do. All I can say to add to any of that is you've got to know yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to get to enjoy knowing you.
Yes.
Because I had spent a lot of time learning.
Now it's a blissful thing to know who you are.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Yes,
it's blissful.
Yeah, blissful. But then most of the people, they confuse that the personhood that they know about their tendencies, about their habits and all that, they think that is them. That's not it. It is that choiceless awareness that is thoughtless.
Yeah.
See,
I'll come on one more time and then I'll have to move on.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm delighted to be on here because it's the first time I've actually been on here with you on your platform. So yeah, I'm delighted to be here. I'll come back again one more time.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Ron is coming back. So that's what I want people to remember. Who we are really revealed with meditative awareness.
And I can say to you, Dr. Rao, that the first time I'd actually looked at the idea of meditation, really look at meditation, wasn't spurred from having a friend who does yoga or somebody speaking to me about just going into, to an ashram. The way that I got introduced to the whole idea of meditation was through the movie Eat, Pray, Love with Julia Roberts. That was when that movie rocked me. I have to admit it rocked me to the core. And it was so brilliantly done. And I cried my eyes out. And I don't care what anyone thinks. Oh, we cried his eyes. Yeah, I did. I cried my eyes out.
Was it Julia Roberts? Was it Julia Roberts?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? She had a big background into being a Hindu and doing meditations.
Yeah, I know. I know. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I cried my eyes out, like, what am I doing in this life? What am I doing?
Yeah.
I actually asked myself, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Because I'm not clearly, I think I'm happy, but I'm not. I think I'm living my life on my terms and I'm not. And I need to get to know why I feel so broken when I watch this movie. And as I read the book, and I, Eat, Pray, Love, and then when I saw the ashram in India, and I just began to realize how much pain I was in, how much, how undone I was, and how much of a big facade I'd created for myself.
Yeah.
And I had to get to know myself. And really, what's interesting, the more you get to know yourself, the more you do the work, people respond to you differently as you transform. Because I remember, I think 4 years after watching Eat, Pray, Love, and I've still been doing the work, and I was in a relationship that didn't work, and I came out of that, and I'd learned about myself.
Good.
That even when I did, I met people that I'd seen for years, who've seen me, known me, and they didn't recognize me when I walked past them after doing so much work for myself. They didn't recognize me, Dr. Rao, and I walked past them and said, hello, and they looked at me and they didn't recognize me. I said, it's Ryan, you know. I come in here all the time. And they just literally went, oh my gosh. And I said, why are you so surprised? It's the same person. So no, you're not the same person. I said, well, why would you say that? Because you look so happy. Actually, and you look happy, and you look younger. And I'm like, but why would I? But then I look back at some old photographs.
It's our natural state to be happy.
You know? Yeah, it was just phenomenal. The way that you will think by doing these things won't have an impact. It will have an impact on your life, and it's happened to me. And I've got a very useful spirit, but back then I was all about tasks and delivering tasks and being really upset and angry, and it was partly I was in the wrong relationship. I was just not in. I needed to spend time with me on my own with no one else around me.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is something I've had to learn. A lot of people need to hear this. Is that you go into relationships and you think you're ready for the relationship when you're not. And if you go into a relationship thinking that you need to be with someone in order to feel complete, again, an issue, because you don't need to be in a relationship to be complete.
I totally agree with that.
On your own.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Ryan, because a lot of people are, even in this app, they are saying we're all going to collectively grow together and all that. Yeah, that's all there. But then first go and work on yourself by yourself. Yeah, that's exactly true. And if you do that, then you come and relate to the people, not with the intention of teaching them, but relate with them like we are doing. I'm sharing what I think we should guard against these distractions, and also what the internet is doing, and at the same time, how you can inculcate your own powers of concentration and beat these things, Yeah, it's what it is, I call that self-knowledge, self-inquiry.
Okay.
That means you can share things, but what I have inside me, only I will know. And I want this. I don't want to depend on anybody. Actually, when I come here, I come and talk, but I don't have any spiritual thing with practice that I do on this app. I share things, but I do my own work, like you are doing your work. That's what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think it's that I get your point about not depending on anyone. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to depend on anyone. I want to do the things that I'm doing. I come on here purely because my initial intention has always been to build a community, to build a tribe of people who follow me, like all the things I'm talking about, and enjoy the things I talk, and that's it really.
Yeah.
And obviously that will, as long as you focus on delivering something that's real and it's honest, and you feel good when you come off the platform, you're not pretending, then all the good things will come to you eventually. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I always say to people,
I would say this way, Ryan. The good things are already there. we kind of forgot. Come back to
yeah,
that.
yeah,
you know.
yeah. They're already there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you, and I think I think that it's very very true
yeah,
that you have to just learn. It's a process of learning.
yeah.
Really, I think it's a process of learning.
Yeah.
We don't automatically get it. Sometimes we need to just be reminded.
That's the
That's all.
whole ancient wisdom based on. No,
Just be reminded.
yeah, no. That means knowledge. That means vidya. Vidya means get educated, get to know another, right? And they
Yeah,
said avidya kama karma. That means because you're ignorant of who you are, what you are,
mm,
how you are made,
yeah,
karma
yeah,
means your actions spring from that ignorance, and then that creates the karma, which will have the results, right? So to
yeah.
change your ignorance to knowledge, then you do the right actions, then it results in good results.
It is, and
Mm.
it's really interesting. The more that you focus, and you know what you've been saying before about concentration.
Mm.
If you focus on one thing, and you still continue that process of focusing on one thing,
Yeah,
and you create an energy around that, and you
exactly.
only attract all the things that are just aligned with that focus,
Oh,
and
that
you'll
leads
be
to me.
surprised.
That leads to me in this series. I'm going to talk about how to be in flow state and how to enjoy that. When you are in flow state, you are having a rocking time because you are not distracted. You are enjoying
Yeah,
the job, and at the end of it,
yeah,
you feel fulfilled completely because
oh
you are.
yeah,
You're, I'm going to talk about that flow because that's the
are you?
next thing about it and how to be there. And then how can you discover flow tendencies very early and then help the children to really go away from that non-flow state to flow state a little bit. It's all
Well,
possible. It's
it
all there.
is.
Yeah.
So when are you going to do that? When are you
I'm
going to do
continuing
that?
this series every day in the morning 7 o'clock for a few
Okay.
days so that people get the what I'm talking about, what I want to really share, that my concern about this internet and this. It's not that internet is bad. It is just that
No, no.
the way it is devised, we have to understand and then kind of reverse engineer and make sure we are using our powers, but at the same time getting the benefit of what we can do. Like I'm coming on the internet using all these tools so that people will hear and understand what I can do. My thing I told you, suffering. That what I see that very easily,
Yeah,
and then even though I am joyful, I cannot ignore
yeah,
somebody having that, right? So that is
right.
the
Yeah,
humanness within us. So once I do that, then there is a real purpose in my life, right? It's not like
absolutely.
just
Yeah.
enjoying my name and all that. I don't care about
No,
those
no,
things.
no.
Yeah,
That's not sustainable.
yeah.
It's not sustainable to think
No
that way.
need,
And I,
no need. We are already
yeah,
complete within. Nobody need to fill
but
in my cup. My cup is
I
already
agree.
full.
Already full. But for a lot of people who are still in that world of wanting to
Yeah.
be liked and all that sort of thing, it is reverse engineering, and it
Yes.
takes some time. And
Ah.
being honest with yourself and getting some support and
Yeah.
talking to someone out loud
Yeah.
with someone about what you're going through, and just start to understand that you are complete,
Yeah.
but you just need to have some thought about it. But thank you so much for having me on your show, Dr. Rao.
Sure, and pleasure having you. Okay. So that was Ryan, my friend. We sometimes cross our paths and talk about things, and he kind of kept stayed the whole hour, which is good. But my main thing about this concentration is how concert is important in our life. That's one thing. What is going on in terms of attacks on this attention, concentration, and people are not able to really understand the importance of it and employ it, and why it is so attacked, and then how you are not aware of it. That's all. You just be aware of what's going on around you and see the distractions and stay away from that and stay in your purposeful living and be focused on whatever you are doing. I always say pay attention to every task. Form goals, have your brainstorm, but don't be focused on the goal. focus on the travel you are doing to the goal. Then the travel will be good, the task will be done, and the results will be there. So that kind of thing, you know. My thing is because of this lack of attention, a lot of things are not getting done well. People are not happy in their achievements too, and also mentally it is leading to a lot of imbalances, in some cases some mental illness too, you know. So being in awareness, using the thought stream, being in awareness, really understanding what is personhood, what is ego, how you can make them slaves, all those things, they come to you when you are able to sit down and focus interior, understand what's going on within you, and really change them with some meditation practices and improve the concentration much better. So that was what I was trying to tell, but I will continue this talk tomorrow with some more examples. I was going to talk about two books, I said, and one by Daniel Goldman, as well Mikhail Meshnarsky. He's also one wrote what is called Flow, and another one is uh, I think the title is difficult. Daniel Goldman, you know, he wrote one on EQ, emotional quotient, and another one also on the mind and its operations and all that. There is a lot of neuroscience involved, a lot of yoga involved. The best form, the Mikhail in his book Flow, he quotes about Raj Yoga. I'm going to talk more about that too. That is supposed to be the best form of concentration according to Mikhail, and we will look at that too. You know, I'm very familiar with it, so I'm going to share my input in it. It's a very important thing to understand people. Basically, it gives you better focus and more of easier meditations and all that. Okay. All right. Anybody else has any questions before I close it? It's already 8 o'clock now. All right. Then I will see you back again tomorrow, or maybe tonight if I can find the time. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye.